was just something about him. I just knew he had something that I needed spiritually. In his eyes, it had this intensity, and it had this spirituality to it. He was in the driver's side and I was in the passenger side of my mom's driveway. And as soon as I got in the car, and he just glanced at me, like he had his hands on the steering wheel, he just glanced at me real quick, and I was like, I was like, on the inside, obviously. On the outside, I was just like, on the outside, I was just trying to keep it cool. But yeah, his eyes were very powerful. What is poppin'? What is poppin'? Did I hit that note right? Hold on. What is poppin'? What is poppin'? What is poppin'? YouTube. It's Sidnie Iyland here. That's Island with the Y, not an S. Or should I say greetings, Earthlings, because I came from another planet to raise the consciousness of this one. So anyways, I made 5 years ago why Scorpios are so sexy. And today, 5 years later, I'm deciding to do an updated version because, oh my gosh, y'all. Although the first version was good, it was good enough to give me over 30,000 views. Like, y'all loved that video, and it took me by complete surprise. That is one of my most viewed videos on YouTube, and I didn't expect that. I didn't expect you to like it that much. Like, I thought it was all right. You know, I was like, okay, I'm feeling the Scorpios. I'm feeling my astrology stuff. I've been studying this stuff for years. Let's just make a video. I didn't expect for people to care that much. So that was pretty awesome to, I'm sorry, y'all. There's noise outside. My window is open. Yeah, I didn't expect that. So the things that were wrong with that video as to why I want to make a updated version. Number one, the camera angle. My mom's friend, after watching that video, asked her, how come I can see up Sidnie's nose? I sucked when it came to camera angles, okay? So yeah, I have evolved. Okay, don't judge me. Also, the glare on my other glasses. Now, there is a slight glare on these, but these are new glasses, and I specifically got the anti-glare glasses because of YouTube. Because of YouTube. That's how much I care about YouTube. That's how much I care about y'all. That's how much I care about, like, it's just irritating to look back at my old videos and see, like, just whiteness over my eyes. So, and then on top of that, my hair. I mean, like, the color was cute. But that cheap braiding hair, girl, what was you, girl? And I was wearing all black. I don't even really like all black like that. Like, I don't know. I must have been going through something, girl. I don't even know. But it was a good video. But there was some things, even some things that I said, I just want to do it different, okay? So before we get into that, let's go over the polls that I asked you all on my community tab. Okay, so on my community tab, I asked you all, out of the water signs, which do you think is the most intuitive out of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces? And guess who won? They won this time. On my other poll, they lost, but on this one, they won. So most of y'all think that Pisces are the most intuitive out of the water signs. I personally would have voted for Scorpio, but I completely get why y'all would have voted for Pisces. In my opinion, all three of them are intuitive as hell. Okay, intuitive as hell. But Pisces does rule the spiritual realm. And so a lot of Pisces are in tune with the spiritual realm. So I definitely get that. Like Pisces can have some superpowers that they're not even aware that they have. So I definitely get why why Pisces would have won that. And then Scorpio was the second runner up, and then Cancer lost. Okay, out of 51 votes. All right, it's a good one. It's a good one. And comment down below which one you voted for and which one you would have voted for if you didn't vote. All right, so, oh yeah, and by the way, I do birth chart readings. So hit me up at s.island55@yahoo.com or DM me on Instagram at Sidnie_Iyland if you're interested in learning about your sun, moon, rising, Lilith, your MC, Chiron, all of the above and more. And also the houses. When I tell y'all I do all the business, I do it all. I do it all. Okay, so hit me up for a reading. All right. Why Scorpios are so sexy. This time, I'm speaking from experience. Okay, let me sip on my wine for a quick little second. So Sidnie, what experience do you speak of when you talk about how you have this experience with Scorpios that you did not have 5 years ago when you made Why Scorpios Are So Sexy? What experience are you talking about? Well, I made a video. Actually, I made 3 videos that pretty much was an extension of an experience I had with a Scorpio ex-boyfriend. I haven't seen him in 7 months. So this relationship ended 7 months ago. And so the information and the experiences are still fresh, pretty much. So I made a story time, which was honestly one of my funniest story times. It was like one of my favorite videos. I actually really like watching that video back. And then I made another one about how our sexual experiences help me to heal from certain sexual blockages and trauma and stuff like that. And so I have experience. And let me tell you, I was enticed by this Scorpio. He was sexy to me. So I feel like I'm the perfect person to make this video because, oh boy, to me he was, somebody get the fan because I'm hot. Just think about it, child. He was hot to me. He had the dark chocolate skin, the long locks with the light brown ends. He was slim. He had these pretty, kind of slanted eyes. And I would always say to him, you look like Morris Chestnut. He had similar features to Morris Chestnut. If we're going to talk about the physical first, I made a list and I only mentioned non-physical things. So let me mention the physical really quick. The eyes. The eyes of a Scorpio is something unique. His eyes, oh my goodness. We had just been talking on a dating app, right? He reached out to me first and he was asking me all these deep spiritual questions that were so deep that I couldn't even really answer them right away. I had to pause and think about it for a minute, right? Also, a sexy trait in the Scorpio was that he was a deep thinker and also spiritually aware, right? So when it comes to the physical, when I tell y'all, we was talking online and when we finally met in person, the energy, oh my God. His eyes, whoa, he didn't even really look at me for that long. And I was hooked. I was enticed. He just glanced at me. His eyes just glanced at me and I was like, whoa, who is this guy? His eyes were so, it was just different. It was just a vibe that I had never felt from a male, from a dude before. I had a boyfriend before him, but it definitely was not like that. I couldn't even care less about that ex-boyfriend. But with him, it was who is he? I want to get to know him more. It was just something about him. I just knew he had something that I needed spiritually. In his eyes, it had this intensity and it had this spirituality to it. And it just had this, it's so hard to even give the right words to it. But all he did was like, he was in the driver's side and I was in the passenger side of my mom's driveway. And as soon as I got in the car, and he just glanced at me, like he had his hands on the steering wheel, he just glanced at me real quick, and I was like, oh. I was like, oh. On the inside, obviously. On the outside, I was just like, on the outside, I was just trying to keep it cool. But yeah, his eyes were very powerful, and it didn't really stop there. Like, even once we got into the relationship, I just loved looking into his eyes. It was just something so unique, to the point where I literally made a song about him and the way that his eyes made me feel, you know. If y'all check out my TikTok, the song Blue Flame was inspired by him and his eyes. I made love to a blue flame. At the time I didn't know his name. I made love to a blue flame. At the time I didn't know his name, but now I do. After he wouldn't stop asking me, baby, who are you? But now I do. After he wouldn't stop asking me, baby, who are you? But now I do. I know his name, and his name is peace. So anyway, yeah, he had a thing with the color blue, and then it kind of, it's fitting. I have blue lipstick and blue eyeshadow. Check it out. Yeah, so he had a thing with blue, and then like, yeah, the color blue was a really spiritual color for the both of us at that time. Yeah, like, he's not the first Scorpio that like really enticed me with those eyes. Like, I've known a handful of Scorpios, and I can name about 3 or 4 where their eyes just pulls me in. Like, I'm just so drawn to a Scorpio. All they gotta do is look at you and you just want to come closer. It's like their eyes is just kind of pulling you in, just looking at you. And they're not even looking at you in like necessarily, I wouldn't even say I guess you could say with intention. Yeah, that's the word. They're looking at you with intention. There's an intentional kind of vibe behind it. They're looking at you like with some type of purpose. The next thing about a Scorpio that I find to be very sexy as a woman with a freaking indecisive Libra moon is that Scorpios can be very decisive, okay? Scorpios can be very independent minded. Scorpios know what it is that they want when they want it. So my Scorpio ex, he was the decision maker in the relationship a lot of the times because of how decisive he was. And I really like that. Like, I felt so comfortable with that. Like, when we would go out and do whatever we needed to do, whether it be going grocery shopping, having a doctor's appointment, whatever it was, he took the lead in a way that I found so freaking attractive. I found so freaking sexy. Like, you gonna get it when we go home tonight. I like the way you know what you want. Me being me, I'm like freaking out. Like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be late for my interview. And he's like, chill. We gonna get to where we need to go. You see, there's the entrance right there. You was tripping. I'm over here like, where's the entrance? I don't know. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be late for my interview. And he's like, there's the entrance right there, boo-boo. You tripping for no reason. Like, that's the thing I like about Scorpios is the chillness, the relaxed kind of attitude. Like, there really is no reason to trip about nothing. And for me, it's hard to believe that. And he makes you feel like that it's possible to relax and trust the process. And that's important for a person like me. I don't know if maybe it's my Aries Mars that gives me the anxiety. Maybe it's my Virgo rising. I don't know, but child, I'll be tripping. I would just worry about the simple little things that he would always just take the lead and be like, we're going to get to where we need to go. And that was very freaking attractive to me. Like, he had, out of all my boyfriends, he had the best traits, like, out of all of them. He had the most traits to be a leader out of all of my boyfriends. Another thing that makes Scorpio so sexy is the fact that you guys are very in tune with yourself spiritually and very in tune with yourself physically. Like when I tell you, my ex was always doing these weird stretches and all this popping and locking with his muscles and all this weird stuff, and I'd be like, what you doing? And he'd be like, I got these blockages in my body. I got these blockages in my muscles. He over here stretching it out and doing all this different stuff. And, you know, he was in tune with his body. He was in tune with what was wrong with his body and the things that he needed to work on. And I did think it was weird sometimes, but I do feel like to a certain degree there was a method to his madness. And to expound on the aspect of him being in tune with his physical, he also was like very intentional with his diet, which I found to be very attractive, and it was something that I could relate to because I'm also very intentional with my diet, like making sure that I don't eat red meats like beef and pork, and making sure that I don't eat too much dairy, and like I'm very picky about that, and you know, because I know that it does contribute to your spiritual nature, and he knew the same thing. And it's just something to like know that as a woman, and to attract a man that is also aware of that. Because a lot of men, y'all, a lot of men think it's just hocus pocus or heebie-jeebies or whatever the word is. Like a lot of dudes think it's bull crap to be concerned about your diet. You know, it's a reason why the life expectancy for men is not as long as for women, and it's because men don't care about their diet as much as women do. So to meet a man that actually does in a way that a woman does, that was very attractive to me, and honestly unforgettable, to the point where my next partner, he gonna care. He gonna care about what he eat. He better be a vegetarian, a vegan, or something. This next one, y'all. This next one is honestly the epitome, from my experience, the epitome of what makes a Scorpio so damn sexy. And it is the considerate. I'm trying to make sure I find the right way to say this. It's the level of patience and consideration in the bedroom. In the bedroom. In the bedroom. Under the sheets, child. Under them sheets. When I tell you my Scorpio ex was the most considerate sexual partner I've ever had, he actually cared about my pleasure. And that was very unexpected and unusual for me. And unfortunately, a lot of women are not used to having sexual partners that care about their sexual pleasure, that care about their comfort during intercourse. But my Scorpio ex, he cared. And he would ask things like, are you ready? Are you ready for me to, you know what? Are you ready for me to, like he was really good at like foreplay. He would always get me ready rather than to just dive in without really being concerned about if that hurt me or not. You know, so there was a certain level of care. You know, in the bedroom, he was sensual. He was in tune with his own frequency. He was in tune with our frequency. You know what I'm saying? During sex. So, yeah, that's the sexiest thing. Like, to me, there is nothing sexier than a man that gives a damn. There is nothing sexier than a man that actually takes your pain and your pleasure into consideration during intercourse. There is nothing sexier. And my Scorpio ex had that down pat. Like, say what you want about Scorpios. Like, they can be a whole lot of crazy. And I understand why they have a bad reputation from the negative experiences that I've had with this same ex. He was very careful during sex in a way that I really needed at the time. So yeah, that made him very, very sexy. The next one is mysterious and intriguing. I did mention this in the Why Scorpios Are So Sexy video that I made 5 years ago, but I want to kind of expound on it and speak on it because I am a different person. Okay, I don't have the same person. Well, I do have. I'm still a quirky Taurus at the end of the day, but I have new experiences. That 5 years ago, Sidnie, she ain't. she wasn't then who I am now, okay? How old was I 5 years ago? I'm 28, so 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. Oh! I was 23 when I made that video. Okay, I was a cute little 23-year-old, if I do say so myself. That's one thing that kept me in that relationship with my ex, was how mysterious he was. I almost felt like I was chasing him. At the time, I thought that was intriguing. At the time, I liked it. Looking back on it, it was toxic. A woman should never feel like she has to chase a man in a relationship. But he had a way where I couldn't really tell what he was thinking. And he carried himself in a way where he had his own mind. And he had his own stuff going on, where you kind of was always curious to know what he was thinking. He wasn't like clingy and all in your face. And that made him very intriguing. He was mysterious. He kind of sat back and did his own thing. And so, yeah, I thought that was very, very sexy. The way that he would move on his own. And he would always have his own stuff going on. And to me, it was mysterious. It's like, what does he got? What does he have planned? What is he doing? The next trait that I find to be very sexy about Scorpios is the rational mindedness. It's like Scorpios can be very logical, to the point where you're kind of curious about what they think about a situation. Oh my God, my neighbors upstairs just love to make all the noise that they can possibly freaking make. If I could just kill them. So I like that Scorpios can be rational, that y'all think things through. Like, very thoughtful, like to the point where y'all freaking overthinkers. My goodness, y'all can stand to work on that aspect, because I met quite a few Scorpios that overthink. Oh my God. So, but y'all can be very rational and very logical. I have a Scorpio friend now who, like, when I'm going through what I'm going through, she gives really solid advice and helps me to like because I want to tell y'all, I'm an overthinker too. She kind of just gives advice that helps me to like mellow out, and just kind of points things out in a way where she's like, this is reality. This is what's really going on. Chill, sis. Chill. Another trait that I find to be very attractive about Scorpios is that y'all can be very intuitive. Very, very intuitive. To the point of psychic. Most Scorpios that I meet are empaths, where they can feel somebody else's pain. Okay, and that's very attractive for me. To me, it's like so sexy for a man to like actually empathize with you. That's what they say. What is the term they call it? A sensitive man, when they call it I want me a romantic sensitive man or whatever. Like they're talking about a freaking Scorpio. They're talking about a Scorpio, because Scorpios can be so sensitive to other people's feelings. And the last thing that makes Scorpio so attractive is how strong y'all can be. Like, y'all could be going through hell, but y'all always show up and do what y'all need to do and take care of business. Scorpios won't whine and complain. Even if something is hard, y'all are just going to do it. And that to me is very attractive. That was one thing about my Scorpio ex that I really liked, was whenever there was a problem, like let's say there was a maintenance problem, like a light fixture broke, or there was a leak in the bathroom, or whatever it was, and I would tell him, hey, there's a certain issue, and he would just take the initiative, and he didn't complain, he didn't make it into a big deal, he didn't throw a fit, he was like, oh, how come there's always something wrong with my apartment? Like, no, he just did what he had to do. He fixed things in the house that needed to be fixed. Like, he didn't complain. Like, I really liked that strength. I admired that strength in him. And that's why I was in a relationship in the first place. A Scorpio, despite their flaws, a Scorpio is always will be a strong person. A Scorpio knows how to push through the trauma, the stress, the anxiety, the insecurities, and just keep going and do what they need to do. Scorpios are, they're something else. So yeah, that concludes my updated version of why Scorpios are so sexy. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And please feel free to leave a comment. And don't forget that I do birth chart readings. So hit me up. My Contact information will be in the description box below. And that being said, deuces.